Got a Yamaha XJ750. 82 model, had a vacuum petcock. Went ahead and got myself a rebuild kit. So I guess I'll take you along for the ride.
While I speed through this, for those who don't know, a vacuum petcock works when the engine is on, under vacuum. Different from a gravity petcock that's just on all the time until you turn it off. So that's where the vacuum petcock is great. You can avoid that little task until it isn't great and leaks down into your carburetor, into your airbox, and into your engine, creating a dangerous hydro-locking problem. So that's why you want to make sure this doesn't leak.
Let's see here. Will that work on these little guys? Yes, it will. There you go. And you can see the ring there. All right. Now, before you go flattening it, when you see this is curved like that, it's supposed to be. That's how it applies pressure. There's that. And that's what you're doing. You're just turning it around to set to different ones. There we go. Okay. There's your diaphragm, O-ring. Looks like he's stuck. There's a spring. Don't lose that. In your rebuild kit, make sure that it's about the same size. Mine looks like it is, although it looks like it's maybe the spring's been a little compressed. There, that finally came out. Get this off. Okay. That. Am I missing anything? There's this. Alright. That's how that came out. Now, time to clean. Got me some Q-tips. And let's see, maybe this will work for some of this stuff. Well, you know what? Gloves, wear gloves. Yeah. So that's 8mm. There you go. So that's what you have to watch out for. There's a little tiny bakelite disc that goes on the end of that. Alright. Alright, don't lose that. That bastard is tiny. There's my other O-ring. There's this guy. Ooh, he was cracked. That's not a common spot, but you're gonna leak there. You'll see it dripping out past the plate when that's happening. Alright. Put this guy back in before we lose him. There. Balance him on here.
By the way, this thing's called a vacuum port check valve.
Alright, that's back together. So there's no way I can get this to focus well enough for you to see, but from this side down in there where things seat in the center there, you want to make sure there's no pitting in there at all. There might be a couple of scratches, and then you can polish it up, get a Dremel with really soft polish. Don't cut into it, you just want to smooth it out. You don't want any scratches anywhere in there. I am lucky. This one is perfectly fine, so I'm not going to mess with it. But what you might want to do is, well, probably should do, is go ahead and smooth down the, flatten the surfaces, right? Way you want to do that is with some really fine sandpaper. I have got 2000 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to move stuff out of the way here so I've got a little bit of good flat surface. And wet sand this a little bit. So we'll do this one first. Make sure you got a good flat surface. We're just trying to get this smoothed out so everything seats well.
And hopefully you're still with me, because this is probably the biggest leak preventing step that gets missed.
I think that is probably good enough. Just want it to seat well. This as well. That's good. That's pretty good to begin with. And good enough. Alright, let's see if we can figure out how to put the whole damn thing back together. So we've got, there's the old diaphragm, here's a new one. And one of the first things you need to notice is on these, there's a little opening here. And there are also some positioning pegs so that things go the right way. And this has to face the same way as this. So you've got that going in there, and wiggle it into position, and there's that. Now for this side, spring. Now this kit comes with basically two options. You can either use a new spring or the old spring, and they provided a washer. Not that, it's somewhere around here. Again, there's 4 pegs, and that goes on like so. We'll do it just loosely for the moment. I don't want to go all the way tight in case I mess something up.
Well, that was confidence inspiring, wasn't it?
Okay, so there's that side. So I just wanted to touch on this because my petcock doesn't have a need for this gasket that comes in the kit. Now what this is on some of the smaller XJs, this actually comes off. There's a couple of screws, and this is the gasket that goes behind here. So that's just an extra thing to know, that this comes off, you'll clean it out, and you'll put a new gasket on. Mine's a 750, and this is all one piece. No need for the gasket. So, set that aside. In fact, my kit, I don't believe, came with a replacement for the little plastic washer that goes underneath this. So, don't lose it. And that goes here. This new guy, and it's the same on both sides, doesn't matter which side you put. Just put him in there, make sure he lines up to the holes, and on to the next step. We've got an O-ring. Looks like this is the one. And you fit that guy on there. Done. There's your new wave washer. Set the old one aside so we don't get confused. Alright. So we've got this in here, ring on there. So we push this on. It's a good idea to add a little silicone grease to that O-ring. And oh, forgetting there's your wave washer. It can go there. This goes on there. Alright. Last step is to replace the old pipe with a new pipe. You notice they're a different height. I believe that's okay. It shouldn't be any problem. Might even be a benefit. But there is one thing that you do need to do. Because this will not go into there. 800 grit. Sandpaper. Let's see what that does. Oh, okay. So the other thing is you want to get it down in there, flush or below. That should be good. And there you go. One rebuilt petcock completed. All right. Don't forget that. Almost forgot to tighten these guys down. Just in case you guys thought I forgot. I did.